action. This is ABC 15 News.
A landmark ruling. Arizona's marriage amendment overturned. Same-sex couples now allowed to marry, an issue that's deeply divided our state. Thanks for choosing us. I'm Steve Irvin.
And I'm Stephanie Hockridge. Same-sex marriage now legal in Arizona.
A controversial ruling from the court today overturning a voter-approved marriage amendment. The federal court decision clearing the way for same-sex couples to marry. All 15 counties now given the go-ahead to issue marriage licenses. Arizona Attorney General Tom Horne saying he will not appeal the federal judge's ruling.
The probability of the Ninth Circuit reversing today's district court decision is 0. The probability of the United States Supreme Court accepting review of the Ninth Circuit decision is also 0. Therefore, the only purpose that would be served by filing another appeal would be to waste the taxpayers' money. That is not a good conservative principle.
Horne says while he personally disagrees with the decision, he believes the first duty of the Attorney General is to be a good lawyer and uphold the court's ruling. Now, immediately following the decision, couples flocked to the Maricopa County Clerk's office.
Yeah, they wanted to be among the first to get a marriage license. Allison Rodriguez watched it all happen. And Allison, such an important step for these couples.
Yeah, Steve and Stephanie, it's been a really emotional day here today and a very long road for a lot of couples who had spent all morning today picking up marriage licenses at the clerk's office, which just is closing right now. People from all over different organizations came out to perform these ceremonies. I just talked to a faith leader who says they performed at least 70 here. People came out giving out little bottles of bubbles to celebrate. They brought champagne, they brought roses and different kinds of flowers to hand out to the couples who are now husband and husband, or wife and wife. And now, as soon as Attorney General Tom Horne gave the word, yeah, people just came here flocking to pick up those papers and make it official. Now, we were there when Horne announced that he would not appeal the judge's ruling to strike down Arizona's same-sex marriage ban. And from that moment on, it's really been a celebration for a lot of the couples who were fighting for years to get their marriages recognized here in our state. Now, there were different faith leaders here performing those ceremonies, as I mentioned, just right in front of this clerk's office. And shortly after that, we also headed to City Hall, where judges were performing marriages as well. We caught up with two of the plaintiffs listed on this lawsuit. These women have been together for 57 years, but they say the long journey to today has been worth it.
We never thought about marriage. It really and truly, we never thought it would happen, that it would ever happen. And these last years, when we realized it is happening all over the country and that it's going to happen, we really were very excited about it.
There's just been so much buzz here today. As everybody knows, no matter where you stand on the issue, it really is an historic day here for our state. Now, coming up at 6, we're going to hear from a Phoenix judge about why he waited until today to start performing marriage ceremonies himself. We'll have that coming up, guys.
All right, Allison, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Of course, lots of people reacting to today's ruling, including Governor Jan Brewer. She had this to say, quote, courts should not be in the business of making and changing laws based on their personal agenda. It is not the role of the judiciary to determine that same-sex marriages should be allowed. Historically and traditionally, that power belongs to the states and to the people. If society wants to recognize same-sex marriage or civil unions, that decision should be made through our elected representatives, or at the ballot, not the courts.
Well, so many diverse opinions on this ruling that will impact so many of us. And we sent Katie Connor out to get the pulse of the Valley. And Katie, people are very passionate about this topic.
I've been covering stories like this all year long when it comes to gay rights, religious rights, even the rights of businesses. And I can tell you, no matter who I talk to with these personal opinions, emotions always run high.
Today's ruling for Christine Carter.
I married my wife 2 years ago in Connecticut.
Meant acceptance.
No, it's emotional. It's incredible.
For some, today was all about protecting Americans' rights.
I believe it's America and people should be able to do what, as long as it's not hurting anyone, they should be able to do what they want to do.
I don't condone it, because that's not my thing. But I definitely don't, condemn it as same as religion.
But for Pastor Stephen Anderson,
I'm totally against. I think that homosexuality is disgusting.
It was a day of tragedy.
Just because the government makes a ruling that they now accept homosexual marriage doesn't mean God's ever going to accept it. It doesn't mean I'm ever going to accept it.
Anderson believes the gay community has a political message, and the group is just getting started.
Their whole goal is to cram their lifestyle down our throat. That's why they want to get married in the first place.
Nobody wants to push their thoughts on anyone else, but just accept people for who they are.
And earlier today, there was a wedding here in Old Town Scottsdale over at Civic Center in front of the Love statue. And I know ABC 15's Allison Rodriguez was downtown watching weddings take place all day long, too. And so far, we haven't seen any protests. Each ceremony has been very peaceful, even though emotions on this topic still run very high.
All right, Katie, thank you. And while some Arizona churches will perform same-sex marriages, others will not. The Arizona Catholic bishops hoping the Supreme Court will eventually reconsider the issue of marriage. They say, quote, for centuries, marriage has been recognized as the lifelong union of a man and a woman that benefits the common good by respecting the unique and complementary gifts of both a mother and a father in the lives of children. As Catholic bishops, we remain committed to affirming the truth about marriage and its goodness for all of society. The LDS Church has not issued a statement on today's ruling, but they have said in the past that court decisions on marriage will have no effect on the Church's position that marriage is between a man and a woman. But church leaders continue to encourage respectful coexistence with people of differing values.